What if there was a way to double your profit with just one sale? Well, I wouldn't be asking y'all that question if there wasn't a way. So in this video, we are gonna learn how to create and sell product sets like these on Etsy utilizing Printify. Selling a set of products is a great way to boost your revenue because you're no longer just selling one item, you are selling two, leading you to double your profit. Offering a product set is also a fantastic way to separate yourself from the competition and help your listings stand out on Etsy. Sets can be sold a variety of ways and with a variety of different product types. For this tutorial, we are going to create and list a coffee mug set. This was highly requested in the comments of this video where we dove into finding profitable niches. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will link it in the description for you to check out after this video. My name is Taylor and my channel is focused on all things Etsy and print on demand. If those are two things that interest you, I'd love to have you introduce yourself in the comments. I'll be sure to say hi and subscribe for more videos like this. Here on my channel, I share my journey with Etsy and print on demand, as well as create content surrounding the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Before I ever create any product, I always do my research first. And so I already went ahead and did just that. I wanted to see what types of mug gift sets sold currently. And I found this listing, which brought me a lot of inspiration. This listing is for a pregnancy announcement grandparent mug set. The reason that this stood out to me, for one, it is a bestseller, and utilizing EverBee, I can analyze this listing and I can see that this listing is bringing in over $1,000 in monthly revenue. It is a relatively newer listing as well. It is only 6 months old. It's always great to find listings that haven't been on Etsy that long because I think it just shows that you can create a listing today in 2023 and still have it become a bestseller and see success with it. Another thing that drew me towards this listing is when I actually took a look at the tags. Something that I paid close attention to is the search volume for the keywords that are being used, as well as the competition. And this specific niche that this listing is targeting does have some really great keywords, such as new grandparents. This is a keyword that has over 1,000 monthly searches and not nearly as much competition as, for example, some of these keywords towards the top, like baby announcement. It does have a lot of search volume, but it also has a lot of competition. I figured that this is a listing that I could absolutely create my own version of and ultimately see success with. As a result of this research, I created this design, which I love creating designs like this because I consider this to be a scalable design. Which a scalable design is a design that you are able to bring to multiple different niches by maybe just exchanging one word in the design or one element in the design. In this instance, you're going to be a grandma, grandpa, Gigi, Paw, Meemaw, whatever you want to add to this specific design. Printify is my go-to print provider. If you've seen my other videos, you know I use them for majority of the products that I personally sell in my print-on-demand business. And I wanted to share with you that Printify did just come out with their very own bootcamp, which is their Etsy course. It contains over 4 hours of content and even has a guarantee for you to make 10 sales within your first 3 months, or you'll receive that course fee back. Normally their course is $59, which I think is incredibly reasonable, but just to put icing on the cake, you can actually get it with my discount code in the description for 70% off. This makes the course only $17.70. Be sure to check it out. Now is the time to start your print-on-demand business if you haven't already, and scaling your print-on-demand business will only be made easier with Q4 approaching. Now, when offering any type of set in your shop, it is important that you are choosing products that can be sold from the same print provider. This is important because we wouldn't want our items to ship separately. That might just confuse the customer. As I mentioned, we are going to be creating a product set for mugs. However, this process and these steps, you can repeat them and implement them with any different product types that you are looking to sell as a bundle for your shop. What we are going to utilize for our mugs is this 11-ounce ceramic mug. We are also going to be creating a 15-ounce mug because I want to be able to offer in our product listing the option for the customer to select a 11-ounce set or a 15-ounce set. That is what the competition is doing, and I want to make sure that I am at least matching what my competitors are doing, if not offering more. So we are going to stick with that for this tutorial. Clicking into the 11-ounce mug, what we we need to take a look at is the price for the product as well as shipping. I'm going to click into provider info. I do have Printify Premium, so that brings the cost of the mug to $3.39. If you did not have Printify Premium, the mug would be $4.40. Grabbing my calculator, I am going to make a note of $3.39. I am going to multiply that by 2 because we are selling 2 mugs. So for our 11-ounce mugs, the total cost for the product would be $6.78. Looking at shipping, for this tutorial, we are going to just focus on United States shipping. However, again, this process can be repeated and implemented to calculate your pricing for other countries as well if you wanted to sell your products internationally. Because we are selling 2 items, we want to make sure that we are accounting for the first item and the additional item. So I'm going to add $6.29 with $3.09. So for our 11-ounce mug set, shipping is going to be $9.38. We're going to repeat this for our 15-ounce mug. Again, clicking provider info. The cost of just one mug is $4.36. I'm going to multiply that by 2. The cost of 2 15-ounce mugs is $8.72. Shipping, we're going to add $8.79 plus $3.09. That gives us a total shipping cost of $11.88. Back over to Etsy. My favorite calculator that I like to use for pricing my products is actually the Etsy calculator that is built right into EverBee. First, I want to take a look at the cost for our 11-ounce mug. We know that the cost for the products was $6.78. The shipping cost is $9.38. The original listing that we took a look at was selling their 11-ounce set with shipping for about $31. I'm going to just start plugging in some numbers. First, I do want to add in a discount. I like to incorporate a discount in my pricing strategy. So I like this price point for the mugs. This would have a price for the mugs at $28.99. That is with a 20% discount. So what the customer actually would see as the price would be $23.19 and then $6.95 in shipping. Brings us to a pretty competitive pricing strategy of an all-in total for the customer of about $30. And now I want to do the same thing for our 15-ounce mug. So I'm going to change our cost for our item to the cost of the 15-ounce set, which was $8.72, and the shipping for the larger mugs would be $11.88. After playing around with some numbers, I would set the price of the 15-ounce mugs at $34.99. Because this is all going to be in one listing, I can't make 2 different shipping prices for one set versus the other. It all will have to live under one shipping profile. So that is important to consider when pricing this out. With the price of $34.99, again, this is with a 20% discount. So the customer would see a sale price of $27.99, shipping being $6.95. All in all, the customer would be paying $34.94, which comparatively to our example listing, their 15-ounce set was priced all in at $38.80. So we are coming in below their price, which I think is a great approach, especially as a beginner on Etsy, to help stand out from the competition and get some of those sales. That also shows us that we have some room to raise the price as well and ultimately increase our profit margin. With both of these different pricing strategies, I'm yielding around $10 profit for each set sold, keeping me around a 30% profit margin, which is a really great and also realistic goal for print on demand. We are going to go ahead and start creating our listings. I'm going to start with our 11-ounce mug. I'm going to click Start Designing, and I am going to bring over our design that I created in Kittl. Now with mugs, I think it is great to duplicate the design and actually put it on both sides of the mug. If we preview this, we can see that the design is going to show on the left side of the mug as well as on the right. This will be great for any customer. If they're right-handed, left-handed, they will be able to show the design no matter how they are holding the mug. Something else that I'll point out really quick too that's been a new feature in Printify is they have this mockup color mode filter. I've really been enjoying changing the preview to realistic. Something that's important to know with your designs is that most design softwares are creating your designs, creating your colors in an RGB color mode, which is what we typically see by default with the mockups that Printify provides you with. However, the actual printing of your products is generally going to be done with this CMYK mode. It's good to see what your design will look like in the CMYK mode, or as they're calling it, that realistic mode, because realistically, this is what your design will print like for your customer. I, as a seller, have experienced where my design has looked completely different for the actual printed product versus what I created in a design software. More commonly, colors that you may see this happen with are purples and blues, where your blue may look more purple or your purple may look more blue. If you are creating more vibrant designs, colorful designs, this is something that you are going to want to check before you go and save your product and publish it to Etsy. I'm happy with how that looks, so I'm gonna save product. Scrolling down, I am going to go ahead and type in my title. We also would want to complete our description, put any information that is needed about our product type or any of our shop policies. Because this is my first time creating a set, I am going to allow the shipping profile to automatically assign a new shipping profile. Once I've created a shipping profile for this type of product or product set, I can actually click the drop down here and I can actually choose which shipping profile I would want to use as I create more product listings like this. With the actual pricing of the product, I am not actually going to edit anything here in Printify. The reason being, when I go over into Etsy, you are going to see that I am going to edit the variations and make some adjustments in our actual Etsy listing. And by doing so, anything that has been imported over from Printify is actually going to be erased. So it's kind of counterproductive for me to add anything here, but you will see exactly what I mean and how that works in just a moment. Now that that's published, we are going to actually duplicate this listing. I'm going to go in, edit the design, and I am going to bring in our, you're going to be a grandpa. I'm gonna size this right over that original design. Once I have done that, I can erase what is underneath of it. I like to make sure that I am actually putting the design directly over the original one, just so that my product is going to be consistent and both mugs are going to look identical, minus that one is gonna say grandma and one is gonna say grandpa. I am gonna actually rename this to say, you're going to be a grandpa, 11 ounce. That way I know that this is for the variation that includes grandpa and it is the 11 ounce. I don't need to worry about shipping profile here. Again, don't need to worry about price. Instead of publishing this listing, I'm actually going to save this listing as a draft. All right, so we have our 11 ounce mug set here and complete. So I have the grandma variation, I have the grandpa variation. In the listing that I'm going to create, I do want to be able to offer a 15 ounce version as well. So I'm actually gonna go back to the product catalog, go back to our mugs and click 15 ounces, start designing. And same process, I'm going to just create our grandma version of this mug, save that product. I am going to rename this. You're going to be a grandma, 15 ounce. I saved that as a draft. Duplicate, come back in, bring in our grandpa variation. Again, I'm going to just size it directly over that original. Rename this. You're going to be a grandpa, 15 ounce. And again, I saved that as a draft. By this step in our process, I've created two sets. I have one version of this mug set for the 11 ounce, and I have another version of this set for the 15 ounce. Only one of these listings is published, and the three other are just saved as a draft, they're unpublished, and I'm going to leave them as such. Coming over to Etsy, we can see the listing that has been published and synced over to our Etsy shop. I'm going to open that up. The first thing that I am going to do is upload my mock-up photos, which I actually created here in Canva. I got this mock-up directly on Etsy. I will put a link to the mock-up shop that I found this specific mock-up from. I think it was only like 78 cents. I also got this mock-up that showcases the 2 different sizes. And this one I actually downloaded from Creative Fabrica, which Creative Fabrica, if you're just getting started, is a really great source for mock-ups. If you have a Creative Fabrica account, of course you have unlimited downloads, and so you can download as many mock-ups as you can find on their platform, as well as of course their graphics, fonts, and things like that. And I am going to just upload those into our listing here. Adjust our thumbnail. I'm going to just zoom it in a little bit, scrolling down through. I am going to try to fill in as many listing details as possible. These are ceramic. As far as capacity, we are going to offer multiple options. Ceramic mugs are dishwasher safe, microwave safe. They do have a handle. It is not insulated. It is not an enamel mug. For our tags, I'm actually going to scroll up to the top and just copy our title. Repeat that in our tags. Some of these are too long, break these up. Here is where the magic happens. Because we said that we have more than one variation, we need to add variations. And so what I am going to do, I'm going to actually delete this and add my own variation. To name our options, I am going to reinforce that this is a set. I'm going to type in 11-ounce mug set, just to, again, reiterate to the customer that this is a set that they are buying. Do the same thing, 15-ounce mug set, add and update. Now we already determined our pricing earlier, and so that is where I am now going to add that in here. For our 11-ounce mug set, we said that we were going to sell that for $28.99. I'm going to bring our quantity up to 999. For our 15-ounce mug set, we said that we were going to sell that for $34.99. Same thing with our quantity. I'm going to bump that up. Now here's where we are going to add in a specific SKU. I am going to come back to Printify, and I am going to go into our initial 11-ounce mug. Into our pricing, here's where we have a SKU number for this product type. I am going to copy this SKU and then paste it here in the 11-ounce mug set SKU. Going back to my products, I am going to go to our 15-ounce. Either one is fine. I'm going to copy and paste. Now when you receive an order for your set, this is going to send it to your orders in Printify. You will still have to manually edit the order to add in the second variation, which I am going to show you how to do that in our next step. Now, this is a great product type that I would consider offering personalization for. You could potentially target all different types of grandparent names with this type of gift. Here is where I could add in the notes for that personalization. If I didn't want to offer personalization, I could just toggle this off and keep this a bit more passive. For our shipping profile, I'm going to click edit. So we determined during our pricing strategy, we wanted the shipping price to be $6.95. However, with this specific niche, it may be common that the customer is actually going to purchase 2 sets because they may have 2 sets of grandparents that they are wanting to announce that they are pregnant to. So with that being said, I need to account for that in our additional item shipping so that I am not losing money if a customer is potentially buying multiple sets of this mug. How I determined the $6.18 that you see here, I actually just took the cost for the additional item, which was $3.09 for shipping. And I just multiplied that by 2 because if somebody were to add on a 3rd and 4th mug, which is essentially what they'd be doing by ordering 2 of these sets, we would need to account for that additional item shipping twice. So that is what I set our additional item shipping for. Of course, you can make this any price, really. You just wouldn't want to charge less than that because then you may be potentially losing money. Once I have that correct, I just save that profile, scroll down, and I am going to go ahead and publish this listing. This is what our mug would look like. We can see our listing photos that we added in, and we can see off to the right here where we can select our size. So our customer would be able to say that they want the 11-ounce mug set or the 15-ounce mug set and add it to their cart. Once you've made your first sale on a product set like this, you are going to want to come over to Printify and go to your orders tab. Because we did input a SKU number for both variations, this order will automatically pop up under your Printify orders. In this step, it is going to be important to take a look at your settings within your Printify account. If your orders are automatically being pushed through in your settings currently, that is something you are going to want to be mindful of if you are receiving orders for product sets, because you do not want this order to be pushed through without making the final adjustment and adding that second product to the order before it gets sent through. What you could do to prevent this is have your orders be pushed through at a specific time each day that you know that you will be able to go in and check your orders before this happens. Or you could switch your orders to manual push through, which is something that I do recommend, especially as a beginner selling print on demand. It is great to do a little bit of quality control yourself by checking your orders, making sure that they are syncing properly. And this will also help you understand the process and what actually happens as your orders come through. Another thing to note is that sometimes it does take a little bit of time for your orders to sync over. After you've made that sale, don't expect the order to necessarily pop up right away. I've seen it take as little as 15 to 30 minutes or as much as a couple hours for the product to sync over to Printify. Once the order has synced over, you will see it in this Printify orders tab. And what you're going to want to do is actually click into the order. Once you do that, you're going to see a couple different options across the top here. You are going to click into edit order and you are going to add in the second mug for this product bundle. Depending on the SKU number that you added in, you've already added in one variation of the mug set. So you are going to just add in that matching mug to your order. Once you've done that, all you have to do is click submit and you have just begun processing your first bundle order. Comment down below if you are going to offer a set like this in your shop. With Q4 right around the corner, this would be an approach I highly recommend to increasing your sales this holiday season, as sets like this make great gifts and 'tis the season of giving. If you found value in this video, it would make me smile if you boop the like button. And as always, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one.